Yes, and here we are, episode 50. Episode 50 of Beizzo's Kiboozi. Wow, it has been a great journey. It has been a long one. It has been a very, I don't know how to explain it, but one that I'll never forget. Today marks the 50th episode and also the month in which I released my first episode. I released my first episode on the 24th of July of 2024. I'm really happy to have reached this milestone episode 50, and I believe it is one that means a lot to me, means a lot to my listeners, means a lot to everything that concerns me and that concerns this podcast. I want to say it has been a journey that has not really been very easy, but reaching 50 shows me that I can even reach 1,000, I can reach another 50, I can reach more and more episodes. So for this episode, I'm going to mainly focus on how the episodes have been, how the podcast has been, how everything built into episode 50 has been. Because I'll say it is a journey. Doing one thing for 1 year is really not very easy. And many times things collapse, but this podcast didn't really collapse. It's one that has been part of my life, part of my Sunday nights, part of my Monday mornings. And I'll say, wow, I'm really proud of myself. I'm really proud of you, my listeners. I'm really proud of everything that we have accomplished together. Yes, now, Episode 50. I really didn't think I would reach here. First of all, when I started this podcast, this whole journey, I was really scared. I really wanted perfection. I really wanted everything to be right before I start. Now, for example, this episode had to be video recorded. I had to really show my face out there to the world, and also put a face to the whole thing, to the whole podcast and all that. But I've really not reached there yet, mentally, and also maybe this is an excuse, but I'll be there soon. But I was really scared about the consistency. I was scared that no one would listen. But a few people have been listening in to even up to this episode. I even thought I was not ready. But 50 episodes, 50 Mondays. Wow. This podcast has been a memoir of what happens when you do not quit on your voice. And this should be a sign to anyone that is wanting to start anything in content creation, be it a blog, be it a podcast itself, be it anything. If you're ready, this should be your sign that really most of these things at the beginning, they look hard. But as you keep going, as you keep striving, as you keep showing up even when you don't need to show up, that's where the magic comes in. That's where magic is, when you show up when you don't feel like showing up. I've been going through very many things and I've been sharing them on this podcast that may have inspired most of the podcast episodes. Topics on fear, topics on growth, topics on identity, healing, people pleasing, very many. But I'll say it has been a roller coaster of ideas, and I've really liked doing it. I've really liked doing it. Every piece of it, every inch of my podcast has been something that I've liked. The only thing maybe I didn't like was the fact that I had to keep showing up. But it showed me that there is a part of me that is consistent. The podcast was also a therapy session, sort of. Every mic session was a therapy session. And all the advice I used to put out was the advice that I really wanted to put out and the advice that I really wanted to tell to myself. And really, this podcast has been something that I would say has changed my life, sort of. The way I speak, the way I articulate ideas. The podcast has really been fundamental to shaping that. Which brings me to what I have learned during these 50 episodes, during this 1 year of doing a podcast. Now, the first thing is consistency. You see, for you to have consistency, you have to show up. Whether it is good or not good, you have to show up. There's an episode that I did that was called the improvised episode. It was about 7 minutes. And if you've listened to it, you may laugh. If you've not listened to it, you can go to it and listen. Something had happened to my recording devices and I wasn't able to save. And that happened that I really didn't prepare myself to see if I wasn't able to record what could work. But the idea of being there, consistent and showing up, I had to produce an episode, which I produced in about 7 minutes when I had just woken up on Monday and posted it. Consistency is a very key thing to anything that you're going to do in your life. And if you don't have any sense of consistency, you are not going to produce results, because consistency builds on you trying to make something one step at a time. I want you to also know that your voice matters. That is something that I've learned doing this podcast thing. Your voice matters, and your voice matters because there is always someone that is willing to listen to what you have to say. There's always someone out there that needs the advice that you have to give out. There's always someone out there that is going to have a better life because of what you've said. So if you feel there is something in your life that maybe you should share, really share it, because I believe voices matter. And going forward from episode 51 towards the time maybe when I'll really be, I don't know. I don't think I'll give up on doing this podcast. I want to see myself doing this podcast for 10 years. 10 years, that is 52 times 10. The math, you guys can make it. Those are 520 episodes. Wow. I want to reach that milestone, and I'm really ready to reach there. I believe by that time I'll have done video, I'll have become big in the podcasting world, because it's something that I see myself become. This episode is not about me really bragging on how the podcast has been a good thing to me and all that. I want to just celebrate the idea. I want to celebrate the listeners, because it is you guys that have kept me going. It is you guys that have kept me showing up. If no one really listened, because there are videos I see and they have 50 views. Wow, 50 views are 50 times watching something. Even if it were you, watching something 50 times is really not easy. But I thank you guys for giving time to my podcast. Really, it means a lot to me, and I believe I'm going to show up more and show up more. The other thing I've really